Hi, I'm David LoPresti, and I'm with LoPresti Aviation. And today we're going to talk about the LoPresti cowling for the Piper Arrow. You'll see most of the kits here. There's a lot of little components that come with it, some brackets and some cabling, mounting hardware. Now, people ask us, how can we make our cowlings cool with the smaller inlets? It's really pretty simple. We control the air that goes into your engine better. One of the ways we do that is we put a baffle plate across the front of the engine. Now what we did is we measured the amount of air that goes in your inlet and the amount of air that goes out your exit. More goes in the in than out the out. And we found air was going in the inlet and sneaking out past the propeller. So we put this baffle plate across the front. This would be the two inlets and the spinner would be right here. And these fold back and keep air from escaping. That gives us more pressure above the engine, which means we can reduce the amount of flow through the inlets. One of the other things we found when we did that and got the harmony of input air to cooling over the cylinders was that the oil cooler needed more air. So we made a new duct. That's also part of the kit. This duct goes back in the back corner of your engine manifold, engine plenum, and supplies the oil cooler. Something else we found through testing was that the nose gear doors were cracking open in flight on most Pipers. So we want to longer doors to fill up the exit area and want to a lot of carbon fiber. And not just straight carbon fiber, unidirectional carbon fiber. So these things are super stiff. You also get a new pointy spinner with this kit. Nice spinner shape. What's nice about this spinner is the spinner mounts to the propeller itself, not back to the starter ring. So getting in there to torque the propeller bolts, much, much easier. Getting the cowling on and off, much, much easier with the new spinner. Now let's take a look at the cowlings. Here's the right side of the cowling. You'll see that we split the cowling left and right. A lot of people ask us why we do that, and one of the things that my father did not like about Pipers is when you had that split line horizontally on the cowling, you always saw that line. It would always get chipped up, the top and bottom wouldn't match. Worse yet, it affected the lip of the leading edge of the inlet. So he wanted all of that to be resolved, so we moved the line instead of up and bottom, top and bottom cowling, we went to a left and right. Keeps the inlet looking nice all the time, and when you walk up to the airplane you don't see that line. There is a line down the center, but it's not as visible when you're walking up to the airplane. Now you'll see on this side we added, actually on both sides, added a nice large access door. You get quarter turn fasteners and a nice hinge, oil check door, all preformed in there for you. One of the other important features on the right side cowling is we add a cow flap. And that's really important because when you're on the ground taxiing or climbing, you need a lot more air than you do when you're at cruise. And we do that by opening up this cow flap. It's right at the exit of the oil cooler, so it sucks a lot more air through the oil cooler as well as lets more out through the cowling. And it opens up very large and really pulls a lot of air through there. Another feature when you're looking at the bottom is you'll notice a regular cowling, this is the firewall. Ours goes a little farther aft. This, you can't see it on the camera, but this actually bumps towards you, goes down a little bit, and gives some room to cover up some of that nose wheel well that's there. That's why our nose gear doors are longer, so they go back this far. The other doors are much shorter. Now the inside of the cowling comes pre-finished in a aluminized metal paint. It helps reject that heat, keeps the composites staying in nice shape. The composites themselves are also different. It is a carbon fiber and fiberglass laminate with a vinyl ester resin that has a bromination in it, a chemical to act as a flame retardant. Much, much better. Makes the cowlings last a long time, and if you have an issue, it helps contain any fires right in your cowling. Now the other side also has a neat little feature. Again, the access doors. And what's neat is for the gascolator, right now your gascolator is sticking outside of your airplane. You probably hit it with your leg as you go by every now and then. And if you ever land, let's say off an airport somewhere, that low point drain for your fuel is sticking outside. You can hang it up on something and shear it off and spill gasoline right there by you. So what we did is we covered that. We put in a new check door, basically, and we rotate that gascolator inside, so when it's all sealed up, it's all protected, and you don't have to worry about that shearing off. Well, that's it. That's a nutshell of what we have in the LoPresti Aero cowling for the normally aspirated arrows. We also have a kit for the turbo arrows, and there's another video for that. If you want any information, please give me a call. This is David LoPresti, and the number is 800-859-4757.